Welcome inside TD Garden again, everybody. My name is Mike Petraglia, joined again by Josue Pavon. The Celtics get back on the winning track with a 108-97 win over the Joel Embiid-less Philadelphia 76ers here at TD Garden. The Celtics, again, get another tremendous performance by Kyrie Irving. This is the Garden Report, powered by CLNS Media and DraftKings.com. Go to DraftKings.com and use the promo code CLNS for one free play with your first deposit of at least $5 on DraftKings.com. Once again, that promo code CLNS. All right, Josue, another huge game from Kyrie Irving. 36 points, 12 of 26 from the field, 5 of 8 from three-point land. After the game, Brad Stevens says, I know how lucky I am to coach one of the best scorers in the NBA. He does his thing, and he's really leading the way.
He's an unbelievable talent. What else? He also said that, right, Trags? I mean, yeah. And it's true. I mean, I feel like that was the biggest difference of the game. I mean, obviously, if you didn't watch the game, you see that difference on the box score. But if you actually watched this game, you saw a Philadelphia team that was hanging around. Not only were they hanging around, they grabbed the lead, but then, boom, out came Kyrie once again and pulled the Celtics ahead of the Philadelphia 76ers. Biggest difference in this one, obviously, not only what Kyrie was able to do, but the fact that the Philadelphia 76ers just don't have that type of player.
No, they do. That's a great point.
They do have a Ben Simmons. They have someone who can drive to the hoop. He can, listen, the LeBron thing, I see it. I see it in the making in terms of being that guy who can pass, who can get to the hoop, who can drive. But that killer instinct, that scorer's mentality, not quite there yet. I think it will be eventually. I think he will be that good. Maybe not LeBron good. I don't know. The jury is still out. However, tonight, they just didn't have that type of player to match up with Kyrie Irving's capabilities tonight.
Here's the problem with the Philadelphia 76ers, and the reason they drafted Markelle Fultz for number 1 overall this past summer. They wanted somebody, a guard, a point guard, a true point guard who can come in like Kyrie and settle down the game and set the tempo in the Sixers' favor. The Sixers do not have that. The closest thing that they have to that is Ben Simmons running point forward. They also obviously have T.J. McConnell, who did not play here on Thursday night. He banged up his shoulder. We mentioned Joel Embiid. He's getting rest. He has got a big revenge game with the Detroit Pistons on Saturday night, so he's resting up for that. So, yes, the Celtics played the 76ers without two important weapons, namely, obviously, Joel Embiid and his incredible 21 points and 12 rebounds per game numbers. But in this game, I really thought, and Brad Stevens was asked about this, Jason Tatum made some big shots both at the end of the third quarter and throughout the fourth quarter to really kind of, even things out for the Celtics when it got a little bit hairy towards the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, it got chippy, right, Trags? It got really chippy, and he was there to battle. He was willing to make, take contact, go to the hoop, get to the free throw line. I mean, we saw a very chippy battle between these two teams. A lot of jump balls, a lot of fouls being called, a lot of free throws being taken, of course. And you saw that aggressiveness out of the Philadelphia 76ers. This is a very good team. Trags. I mean, at the end of the day, they are a good team. They can fight. They will battle with you.
They're persistent. There's no question about that.
They're persistent. That's a great word. Great way to put it. Yeah, they're very persistent, and we saw that out of them. But what I love to see out of this rookie, out of this 19-year-old rookie, yes, we're going to continue to remind you that he's only 19 years old, is that sort of, that chippiness to him in the fourth quarter where he's not afraid to go to the hoop. He's not afraid to take the shots. He's not afraid to allow his game to sort of develop and get comfortable. Those are the situations where you want to see your rookie be comfortable in. And when it comes to Jason Tatum, he has no problem, being able to do what he does in that sort of situation, in that spotlight.
The two non-Kyrie moments of this game, one Brad Stevens pointed out when Terry Rozier ripped down a rebound and sealed off and went on a fast break late in the third quarter. But another important moment to me in this game was when Jason Tatum ISO'd on old friend Amir Johnson and said, I'm taking Amir. A 19-year-old taking a veteran to the basket, and he finished with a layup.
Yeah, his eyes lit up, Drags.
They sure did.
His eyes lit up. I mean, and even from the beginning of the game, too, you saw the Philadelphia 76ers sort of set that tone. They were wasting no time in that shot clock, really attacking the Celtics. And then Tatum, was sort of a little timid at first in the first half a bit, waited for his game to come to him. Right. And, yeah, I think that moment right there just goes to show you how he's able to, lived for that moment. And when he saw Amir Johnson coming at him, and he knew he had a chance to really take it to him, his eyes lit up. I mean, Amir Johnson probably has, what, 11 years over him, 12 years or something like that. And Tatum just showed no fear whatsoever in that moment.
All right. Al Horford had another very good game, 21 points. But I want to talk about two players off the bench that were huge in this game. Marcus Morris had 17 points, and then Daniel Theis had, I believe it was, let me get the numbers right, 4 points and 8 rebounds in, let's see how many minutes it was here, 14 minutes of play. So you're talking about 4 points, 8 rebounds in 14 minutes. Those are 8 big rebounds off the bench for this Celtics team.
Yeah, you know, the Celtics team continues to rebound at this high level, and Daniel Theis has a lot to do with that. You know, I asked Brad Stevens before the game about mixing in Kyrie Irving and Al Horford into that second unit, and that's exactly what we saw in that stretch when they made that huge run. Al Horford was mixed in there with Theis. You know, I felt like him and Marcus Morris played very well together. They played off each other very well. I thought that his presence on the floor made that impact. And then that's when Al said, you know what, I think I can get involved as well. And he sort of just took off from there. What did he score? About 11 points in that third quarter. Really finished strong in the second half. Hit a huge three that sort of put the nail in the coffin for a Philadelphia comeback in that fourth quarter. Tremendous basketball out of those two guys. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, well, maybe I'm not going out on a limb here, but I think we're going to see more of that. I think we're going to see more of Al Horford mixed in with that lineup. Same thing with Kyrie Irving, depending on matchups, depending on which team they're facing. I mean, it really makes a huge difference for that second unit. And those guys like Marcus Morris and Daniel Theis really shine when one of those guys are on the floor. Tonight, it was Al Horford.
I want to wrap up real quick here talking about one of the problems the Celtics had in the first half, the turnover bug. They had a season-high 19 turnovers back on October 20th, and the Celtics won that game 112-102, the first of 16 straight wins. Again here on Thursday night, they had problems in that first half handling all of the bodies that the Sixers like to do, like to throw at you, switching and double teams, and a lot of different exotic traps that Brad Stevens said Brett Brown really throws at you. And Marcus Smart after the game said something I thought interesting. He said, we were too unselfish. We were looking to make the pass too quickly, and the Sixers were capitalizing on that. Once we adjusted, things settled down. They had 12 turnovers in the first half, but really settled down to a much more consistent game in the second half.
Yeah, Philadelphia really did their homework. Brent Brown really did their homework. He saw how good the Celtics can be when they're really rotating the ball, and they capitalized on that.
Correct.
They were anticipating those second, third passes and a lot of the possessions. Meanwhile, like I said, earlier, Philadelphia was just sort of taking 10, 15 seconds out of the shot clock and really attacking the Celtics. I mean, they're big, from top to bottom. I mean, Ben Simmons is pretty much their point guard, and he's almost 7 feet. I mean, a lot of other guys are.
Saric is very big.
Saric is very big, and he's also very effective on both ends of the floor. He can hit threes for you. I thought he had a very good game. J.J. Redick, I mean, we all know what he can do. He sort of started heating up a bit in that second half. But, yeah, I feel like that's the type of team this team is because, of course, like we said earlier, they don't have that guy who can sort of take over and give you, 19 points or 20 points in one half. They sort of spread the wealth a bit. They use their toughness on the defensive end to really beat you up and really out-muscle you. And I feel like they did that in that first half against the Celtics until the Celtics really settled down a bit, really took care of quality possessions on the offensive end, and eventually they pulled out a win, a really impressive win, I feel like, Trax.
The London media was here in town after the game, working the preview of both the Sixers locker room and the Celtics locker room. Next time these two teams play, Josue, it will be in London on January 11th. It will be a 76ers home game for the record. But tonight,
we going?
I don't know. We have to talk to Nick about whether or not that might be in the budget. You ever been to England?
I haven't, but I do have a passport. So, Nick, I mean,
so do I.
If that's an issue, we're covered. We got passports. We're down to go. We'll cross the pond. Let's go.
That's a hard sell, Josue, if I ever heard one. Anyway, Celtics improved to 19-4 on the season. The Sixers much improved. They fall to 12-9. The Celtics 5-game homestand continues on Saturday afternoon, 1 p.m. start against the Phoenix Suns. We'll have you covered on CLNS Media, of course. The Garden Report powered by CLNS Media and DraftKings.com. Once again, go to DraftKings.com. Use promo code CLNS for your first free play with your first deposit at DraftKings.com. The final again, it was the Celtics 108 and the 76ers 97. Inside TD Garden, he is Josue Pavon. I'm Mike Petraglia For the Garden Report on CLNS Media.